And we are live. Welcome,
hey guys,
everybody, to Lais and The Coach, the show. I know, this is the first time that we're doing it in this setting. So she is Lais and I am the coach if you are watching us for the first time. And in our show, we do a lot of random things. So in our show, we talk about fitness, nutrition, contest stuff, and a little bit of life.
Yes.
And we have not been on for a while, and it's almost like I say that at the beginning of every show.
So let's not say it. Hey guys, for those of you joining us live, I can't see who it is, but welcome.
So let me see if I can share this while people
happening.
While people are logging
How
on.
do we know who's here? There's a comment. Oh, here we go. Hi, Arlene.
Here. So let me refresh this, and then I'll share this.
We have a fun show today. Stay with us.
We have a list.
We have announcements.
Yeah, we got all kinds of things going on. So I'm going to share this in a couple different places, and then we will move forward. Awesome.
Did you share it?
I did.
Okay.
And if you're watching, feel free to share it.
Yeah. I'm going to share it too.
Yeah.
Share it.
That's what I was
Let's
gonna,
all share. It's like a share party.
That's what I was going to do, tag you.
Yeah, please tag me.
It's always easier if I do that.
Okay. Guys.
All right.
Hey, Sean.
So we have shared, and we have not done a show since before we went to Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. And I think, did we cover the November? I think we covered the November show.
The Miami show?
We covered the November show, and we were getting ready to head out, and we were going to do a couple of shows, and we've got interviews pending and things like that, but we just have not had a second. It feels like this holiday season went like boom, 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 and it didn't, it's not that it didn't help, but it didn't help that we were on the road for 12, 13 days.
We were.
We were literally
massive
on the
road trip.
Massive road trip.
Yes.
For the bulk of December. We got back and right away we had family come in town. Christmas crept up on us. Like everything's happening so fast, and here we are, the last week of 2021. It is the last Monday of the year. Hopefully you are all getting after it. And if you are not watching this live, hopefully you did get after it.
Yes.
On this final Monday of 2021. So let's get right into the meat and potatoes of today's show.
Straight away.
We got a list to go by.
We're prepared.
We are finally prepared. So, when was Christmas?
2 days ago.
Christmas. Do you celebrate?
Yeah, for us.
Let me ask you a question.
We're Latin.
So, do you guys celebrate on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day? And when I say celebrate, I mean when's your thing?
Like the main attraction.
If you celebrate Christmas, right? Because we know not everybody does. But if you do, when's your thing? Because we had our thing on Friday.
The 24th.
And then Saturday the 25th is kind of just, the kids in the morning and the day kind of unfolds.
Like you just chill, try to recover, eat some leftovers.
Right. So everybody does it different.
Yeah. Our main thing is the 24th.
But our main thing is the 24th, and it always has been. Yeah. And I'm going to go with it probably will continue to be. But we just closed out our Christmas weekend. Mm-hmm. Yesterday we went for brunch. Yeah. And we are ready to get back on track. Man, because it feels like it's been a whirlwind of things, and you don't realize how great it is to be on track until you're off track. Yeah. If you've ever been on track, right?
How good you feel, your energy.
If you've been on track and you've been like working out and watching what you eat and drinking your water and things like that, and then you get off track for what felt like several days, because it was, you don't know how much you miss it, man. It's like, we were honestly
to feel good again.
craving to execute.
Totally.
And we started yesterday. We went to brunch, but we got back and we started, we ate our food. We just got right back on track.
Yeah, and
why wait till today?
And here's the thing too, like we do have a few outings and celebrations still planned coming up.
Of course.
And it's funny because we always do. Like the way that we do what we do is with flexibility. It's with outings. It's with you know, different festivities. So nothing changes. Not only do we have New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we have some stuff planned with the kids, you know, for New Year's Day. We also have other things that we have going on that we're going to celebrate. So none of that stops us from doing everything that needs to get done at all the other times.
Mm-hmm. And just to recap a little bit, so she competed in Atlantic City December 4th.
Yeah.
Feels like so long ago.
It's only been 3 weeks.
Anyway, we
Feels
left.
Like it's been 3 months.
We left on Wednesday, December 1st.
Yes.
We decided that we were going to replicate or reproduce our Vegas road trip, but going up the East Coast.
Yeah. So we drove
from Central Florida
to Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yeah, and what we did is, just based on our trajectory to Vegas, we decided that we were going to break it into 6 or 7 hour pockets of driving.
Yeah.
So that one, we could see a lot more of the land, I guess. You know, in the last 6 months, we've gone through like 19 states.
Crazy.
And it's great when you can see it. Driving at night, everything looks the same.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to take advantage. So we broke it into 6 or 7 hour driving pockets. And then you can easily drive from here to Jersey in a day. I've done it several times. But what we did is we drove to North Carolina.
Yeah. I would not drive straight.
It's not easy.
It's not.
But what we did is we drove this up to North Carolina. We crashed there. Woke up, got a workout in, got some coffee, and then got back on the road. And we were in Atlantic City by mid-afternoon on Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday, right.
And we checked in because all the activities started on Friday. Registration and hair and tanning and all the things that have anything to do with the show started Friday. So we wanted to make sure that we were there a day before, and we needed to settle into the hotel room because that particular hotel has no microwave in the rooms, and we needed to figure out our food situation. So if you watch our road trip to Vegas, the little stir fryer thing that we bought, that we were cooking in the rooms, the skillet, we left it.
We forgot it.
She forgot it. And so as soon as we got up there, we just bought another one, and I thought it was better.
I did too. It was much better.
And we just kind of like stir-fried everything, right?
But we knew when we got there we knew before we got there, because we'd been there, that there was going to be no microwave and that we were going to have to get there and go grocery shopping and get something to heat up the food with. So we like got there with enough time to like know that that was going to be the next adventure once we got there and settled, that we needed to figure out food and stuff.
Right. So we did that. We got all settled in, went to registration. Saturday was the show. We had a great weekend there, and we brought what we felt was our best, or her best package.
Ours.
I know. She executed everything that we wanted to do. Our goal for this show was to get on stage and get off stage feeling like we had done everything that we could have done.
Yes.
Not to feel like, man, I wish I would have done this, or I shouldn't have done the other. You know, that was the main goal. And driving up to Atlantic City, we already felt that way. Yeah. We knew that we had done everything.
I think sometimes when people hear, I say that a lot in my stories, like what you just said about getting to that day and knowing you did everything. I think sometimes that like confuses people, because I think everyone, for the most part, is under the assumption that like, of course you do everything you need to do, right? And it's like, I don't always get to do the prep the way that it needs to get done. I don't always get to execute the way that I should, because I'm human too, and we have had plenty of things happen and go on in our lives. I have my moments of lack of, I don't want to say like, it's not commitment, of just discipline, right? So it's like, I have my moments, I have my distractions, I have my hurdles, and while I do, for the most part, you know, execute, there have been some preps, obviously, that are a lot better than others. And the last couple of preps, not this one, the ones before, I know that I didn't give it what I could have, and I think that that is surprising, so I think it's important to say. And I think that this time, that's why that became the goal. And we knew that if I did execute the way that I was supposed to, that we would get the outcome that we wanted, which was the best package that we've brought to date.
So with that said, we did everything that we could have done. She looked great. We worked on all the little details along the way, the hair, the tan, the bikini, like all the little things we worked on, so that no matter what the outcome on stage was, we were going to leave extremely satisfied with the work that we had done for this show.
Yes.
And sure enough, she got on stage and we placed second in the US, which for a lot of you who don't know, Lais has done how many pro shows? 8 pro shows, and this was her highest placing to date, and we could not be happier with all of the things that went into this prep, and definitely with the outcome.
100%. We were so happy and so proud of, like you said, the work that we put in.
1,000%. And sure enough, we left that show hungrier than ever for more. So we have already, we flip-flopped back and forth a little bit, or at least she did. I knew all along that we were what the next show was going to be. I had discussed it with her prior. She had her reservations, but sure enough, she is getting back on stage in April in Orlando for the season opener. Yes. And we are very fortunate to be able to start that prep from that starting point and then continue to build and work on that physique and that package that we brought, because we prep very different than a lot of people. There's a lot of flexibility built in. There's a lot of life built into these prep. So a lot of the reversing or her body adjusting doesn't need to happen. We can, carry right into our next prep very comfortably without doing anything that would be detrimental to her health or to her physique. Even though we certainly took the last 2 weeks or 3
weeks
to enjoy a lot of fun foods. We were in New York and in New Jersey for a lot of fun foods. Man, we went to Washington, D.C. and
I fell in love.
I found the best restaurant.
The best.
It was so good that we ended up staying in Washington just so that we could potentially go back to eat there, but then I found another place, and then I found another place.
But we just loved that area.
Yeah, Washington, D.C. was so freaking
beautiful.
Cool. Yeah, I think after being in New York for a couple days, you go into Washington, D.C. and you still get that city vibe, but it was just completely different.
Yeah, very different.
Very different, and we ended up crashing in Alexandria for a couple days.
Staying. You keep saying crashing, like we're going to think we're like at a random place.
My apologies. We went to Washington, D.C. to tourists. We were going to see the White House. We went to the Lincoln Memorial.
Went
for the kids. And we ended up enjoying it so much that we decided to stay. Is that better?
Yeah.
We decided to stay a couple of extra days as we made our way back home, which is a reason that we like to drive.
Yes. Because we're on our own time.
Right. We didn't miss a flight. We didn't have to reschedule our flight.
We're on our own time, which we like.
And for my people, nothing changes because I am in communication with everyone that I coach, no matter where I am, no matter what time zone I'm in, no matter what state I'm in. The work continues. It's not like anything changed on our side, but we don't ever feel we were in Manhattan at a prep place.
Yeah.
And we had already decided to go to DC, but we're having preps. And we're like, all right, so we're going to jump on the subway, go back to Jersey, get in the car, drive to DC, at whatever time it happened. With zero rush. Yeah. And that's just one of the things that we enjoy, not rushing.
We like just being in control of the plan. But back to what you said, the last 3 weeks have been full of partying. Lots of food, lots of drinks, lots of dessert, lots of zero, weighing any food.
Do you share all that stuff? Do you guys follow her on IG? Do you watch her stories?
I've shared some of it, but honestly, even that I kind of took off from. I just kind of went into this I'm not going to weigh anything for a week, and then it turned into 3. But I think I've gotten a handful of workouts in the last 3 weeks, a handful of on-purpose meals, but overall it's just been whatever. And luckily, obviously that affects the way that I feel because I don't have the energy that I normally have when I'm on my game and I'm drinking my water and I'm training and I'm eating the things that feel good. But it's really cool, I think, to see that even with all of that, with 3 weeks of, just really doing whatever we wanted to do, I've seen very minimal changes in the scale specifically.
Right. And that's one of the things that we always want for everybody that we coach. I always tell people, your outcome should be yours to keep. Yeah. And a couple of days or a couple of weeks of just, kind of like indulging or at least taking a mental break mm-hmm. from, the consistency. I call it consistency fatigue. Mm-hmm. It's just, you're doing all the things all the time and giving yourself a mental break from it kind of, alleviates that day-to-day burden of being so mindful and conscious and cautious
diligent
about executing the task, without interruption. But like I said at the beginning of the show, now we're ready to get right back on track.
Ready.
So it all goes hand in hand. And like I said, she has officially started her prep for the season opener in Orlando, which will be April 16th, mm-hmm. 2022. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a Pro-Am. We actually have a really big team for that show. We have a lot of people getting on stage that weekend. Yeah. Pros and amateurs, first timers. It's going to be an amazing weekend for our team. Yeah. So any of you that want to come and watch the shows are open for you to come and watch. You guys are all welcome to come and watch the show. Yeah. Any of you that are interested in possibly ever doing a show or what goes into that. Yeah. Last week we had a free webinar that you may or may not have seen us promote, and we are actually, I just announced yesterday, we are having another one. We are going to host the first webinar of 2022 on Monday, January 3rd.
Yes.
At 8 p.m. So we both have links everywhere on IG, on Facebook. If you don't have...
We can link it here too.
We can link it here. We are going to cover a lot of the things that we covered last week, but one of the things that we missed in that webinar that I thought was really important was the story behind why she decided to compete in the first place. I think it's really important to have that reason why, and I think it's really cool to share the story. So for any of you that want to listen to the story, again, we'll have that webinar Monday, January 3rd, mm-hmm. 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And you can log on from anywhere. It'll be on Zoom.
It's a live, free webinar.
Cool. Nice.
Awesome.
She is not the only person getting on stage. Brianna is getting on stage.
Oh. I was like, oh no, so excited, drum roll.
Bree is getting on stage that same weekend. She is doing the same show, April 16th in Orlando. And since everybody in the house is getting ready, Junior's competing, I will be getting on stage April 2nd. Also here in Orlando at a different show, but everybody at home is prepping for something. And I think that when you have that dynamic at home, it really makes it easier for everybody to kind of stay the course, Yeah. It's your environment. It's funny because I've been talking about it so much. Your environment is like the dictator of whether or not you can find that consistency.
Totally.
Right? And when your environment is set up for you to win, the likelihood of you failing is so small.
100%.
Right? And I'll give you an example.
If you really go out of your way.
If you go grocery shopping and you buy a bunch of stuff that you necessarily shouldn't be having or stuff that may tempt you, right? Then you are putting those things in your environment. Mm-hmm. So in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night, when you're like, I could really have some cookies, and you've got cookies there, then guess what? You put those cookies in your environment. But if you set up your environment to not have these things, then the likelihood of you going to, getting in the car and driving to them just to have the one thing is really slim. So the environment at home for all four of us is contest-based, for 2022. Junior's got tournaments. Junior was ranked #1 in his category for the state. So he is coming out on fire for 2022. He's got a full year of tournaments. And the three of us will be stepping on stage in April. So it'll be a fun, what looks like 15 or 16 weeks from now, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we got that webinar on Monday, January 3rd, and we will be talking about the journey to the stage, no matter what stage you're going to get on. But obviously we are WBFF coaches and we bring a lot of people to the WBFF stage, but that does not mean that if you wanted to step on another stage that we cannot help you accomplish that or achieve that. And our seminar or our webinar is about the process itself, not what stage you're going to step on. Okay? What else?
Goal setting.
Goal setting. Where are you in the list?
Right here.
Why'd you skip?
What are you talking about?
We have private immersions. She skipped like 3 bullet points.
No, I didn't. 1 bullet point because it kind of goes anyway. Do it.
So we have, if you've seen our group immersions, like where people come to our house and spend the weekend with us, we hosted 3 or 4 last year. 3?
3.
Yeah, we had 3 immersion weekends at our home last year, where a group of people would come. They would spend the weekend with us. Meal prepping, working out, and interacting and asking questions and learning more about their process. We would go out to dinner with them and kind of like show them all the different things that you could do, no matter what your goals were, right?
Yeah.
When it came to your training, what kind of pace should you have, like how hard should you be going, different workout modalities, because we had different goals. Like we had people at Immersion Weekend that were getting ready to get on stage, people that were training for High Rocks, the race. We had people that were just getting started in their journey, like so many different elements. So what I did is I tailored it in a way where everybody got to feel different kinds of workouts, right? So what we decided to do for this year is to have private immersions where we could tailor it specifically to the person coming for that weekend.
Not do it in group format.
Right. So that, for example, if your goal was to step on stage or to do High Rocks, or you have a transformation for yourself that you're working on. What we would do is we would have the same type of immersion where you would spend the weekend with us, but everything would be tailored to you. Your meal plan specifically, your goal, the workouts would be tailored to your goals. We think that if we can do that way, it'll help the person coming for the weekend get more out of the weekend because everything is tailored to them.
Yes.
So if you are interested in immersion, in a private immersion weekend, and you want to come spend the weekend with us at our house, eat, train, meal prep, go out to dinner, do all the things here, reach out.
Yes.
If you're not on our email list, I usually send those notifications via email. You can get on our list. Just send me your email. I will add you to our list. So we are doing that. We are also launching a new Facebook group page, which I kind of, in the email, I called it the Vault, because I'm kind of, my goal is to dump as much information as possible into this group page. I've written a couple of different books for coaches on programming and workouts and different things like that. Over the years, I've amassed so many different programs. So what I want to do in this group page is kind of like throw everything in there. I'm going to post the books. I'm going to post all the workouts. I'm going to post the workouts that I write for competitors. The idea is to have a place where you can get all this information and then utilize it for you in whatever way you want. It's not going to be coaching, like I'm not going to be telling you what to do. You specifically, but I am going to be interactive on the page and I will be able to interact with everybody in a group format, kind of like we used to do at our gym. Yeah. But I am going to provide all of the content or context for that page. So all the things that I create are going to be put in that page for you to download and have. And then we will use it as a space for that particular community. So look for that. Again, I've announced that in our emails.
So if you're not on that list, get on the list.
What else? Dream boards. Or are we doing goals first?
I guess it's together, right?
So one of the things that we're doing for New Year's Eve is our dream boards for the upcoming year. If you've never done a dream board or anything like that, honestly, like whatever method you use to articulate what kind of goals you have works, right? I think that writing things down is really important. I have a notebook where I write down a lot of things, ideas and different goals that I want to accomplish. And the dream board is a visual way of doing that, because you can connect to it like visually. So whatever goals you have, again, right, there's a lot of power in writing things down. But if you have a place where you could see those things, it's easier to connect. So yesterday we were talking, like, we got all this stuff to make ours. We do it, and we do it with the kids as well.
Yeah.
But I said to her, how cool would it be to have like a dream board party or a dream board experience for anybody that was interested. If you've never done it and you're not sure how to do it and you are interested in something like that, we would be more than happy to do it in a group format. We could get a couple people and do a Zoom or something like that, and kind of like walk everybody through it. And the idea is to have all of your goals mapped out for the upcoming year and have a visual aid to either remind you of those goals or trigger those goals or anchor you to those goals. Whatever word makes the most sense to you, it's just one of those things that you can use as a reminder that you are working on something for those particular days where maybe you don't.
And I think a lot of times people underestimate how specific they need to be with their goals. And a lot of times people don't even know how to set goals, right? Like they don't even know where to start, or they think it's too big or too out of reach, or they'll set a goal but didn't specify it enough to where now they can break that down into like manageable ways to getting to that goal. So it's not as simple as like, oh, let me put a picture of this airplane because I want to go on a trip, right? It's like, where are you going? When are you going? So
right. I've done a lot of goal setting exercises or classes or workshops with my clients. But the thing about goals is exactly what you said. You want to have a clear vision or picture of what it is that you want to accomplish. And then you also want to, it's not like, again, like the airplane. It's like, are you trying to buy an airplane or are you trying to get on an airplane?
Exactly.
Right? And then what are the steps behind that? How do you reverse engineer that process to get you from where you are right now to that thing? It's like the stage or getting on stage with our competitors is such a great example of that, because when we talk to somebody day number one and we talk to them about the possibility of getting on stage, a lot of them can't see it. They can't envision being on stage muscular and fit and in a bikini and tan, right? Like they really can't see it. But that is the goal, and what we do is we reverse engineer that process to where you are right now, and then we have daily things that you do, right? You eat your food, you work out, and drink water. Like you do these things daily that get you to that outcome, but you have to know where you're going. That's why hypothetical goals like I want to lose weight don't make any sense, because you don't really know what you're working toward. And because you don't know what you're working toward, executing certain things today aren't that pressing. Right? Like I'm using the stage as an example because the stage has a lot of elements there that help you. Like, for example, a date and a deadline, right? By this day, I am going to do X. So I am going to work from now until this day, every day, and execute these things to get me X. So same thing with all the other goals, right? So we are going to be doing that this week. If anybody's interested in doing that, reach out to us. And we're going to be doing a lot more of that kind of thing in 2022.
Yeah, for sure.
For a lot of the projects that we have in mind, we're going to do a lot more things that way. 2021 has been another amazing year. I talked to her about doing a recap show, maybe toward the end of the week. But we've done so many things, like so many shows. I mean, just in the freaking road trips that we've done.
I know.
Like I said,
so crazy.
we drove all the south from Florida to Vegas and back. Freaking the Grand Canyon.
New Mexico.
Like we were on the
Texas.
top of a mountain in New Mexico, right? Like literally on the top of a mountain. We were heading to Roswell, and you could see, like, you know how if you're in Disney, they have all the Disney stuff, all the stores that are approaching Disney with like Mickey Mouse things and Disney characters. Well, we're on the top of this mountain in the middle of nowhere with all these touristy stores with aliens and things like that. It was super cool. She didn't really feel well, but again, that was something that we did this year.
Bad kombucha.
Like we had a lot of like all our immersions. So maybe we do a recap show.
Let's do it.
But 2021 was an awesome year.
Amazing, epic.
You know, we are super grateful and super blessed that we get to do all of the things that we do, and we are looking forward to having an even more impactful 2022. And we want to make sure that we do as much as we can to pay forward like all of the blessings that we've had and help even more people reach all the outcomes that they want to reach.
And build the version of themselves that they want. You know, I think we always talk about how we don't really like New Year's resolutions because we all know what we want to achieve and the time is always now, not the first of the year or a Monday, you know. But at the same time, there is something that's very refreshing and brand new about a new month or a new year or a Monday, right? So as the new year is approaching, you know, it is a really great time to reflect on all of the things that this year brought and gave us, good, bad, all the things, you know, because it all leads us here, but also exactly where are we going? What are the things that you're going to make non-negotiable this year that you keep telling yourself you're going to do every year or every time there's a lot of times birthdays is when people feel like it's a new chapter, right? Like birthdays and New Year's.
I always feel that way.
Yeah, me too. So it's a new year. It's here. It's coming, you know? So what are the things? It doesn't need to be 10 million things, but what are the things that are going to be on that priority list for you? You know, it's definitely a good time to reflect on that. A lot of times we get caught up in, it was Christmas and the kids and this and that and holiday parties, and it's like, take a second to really reflect on the things that you really want to do and accomplish and build in your life for you as we approach this new start, this new beginning, you know?
And execute. Like don't just think about the things that you would like to do. Like take action. And you know, that's one of the things that is such a separator for all of these, you know, on Tuesdays when we post all those transformations. It's not that there was a magic diet, you know, it's that all those people took action, you know, all those people executed. And that's what we want for the upcoming year. We want to help more people take more action in all areas of life, 100%. You know, because we have had our share of things to overcome. And every time we overcome something, that becomes a tool in our toolbox to be able to share or pay forward for somebody that could be going through similar things, you know. So in the upcoming year, we hope to share more of our experiences and contribute more and share more and help more as we continue to grow and evolve as coaches.
Obviously, for sure. All right, so did you want to do a recap at the end of the week again?
Yeah, let's do a recap at the end of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
I think that the goal today was to get back on. You know, we haven't done a show in so long, and it feels like we always have it pending. And I would say that we always talk about it, and I tell her how often, you know, we should be coming on and sharing more. And I would really, really want her to commit in front of all of you to do more shows
I'm
in
committed.
2022.
Don't blame me. It's not my fault. But you know, this is a great analogy for other things. A lot of times people want to do a thing and they either have to plan it out, like I'm a planner. You know, when am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Which way am I going to do it? Instead of being like, start with something. You know, like if you're not exercising, like what workout plan you're doing or what gym you're going to, like go for a walk, like what you always say. If you're not drinking water, you don't need to worry about the gallon of water, or do you need a big jug from Amazon, or, you know, do you need cold water? Do you need to do it this way? Like drink a bottle of water.
Right.
You know, start somewhere. So for us, it's like there's a lot to say, and it is a really big goal of ours that we, I think, haven't mastered yet to like really show up here consistently. But this was the start, right? Like let's get on and let's talk about other things that are happening, and then let's get back on, and we build momentum that way with anything. So for us, this is going to be at the top of the priority list.
Yes. So we will be back on Friday.
Yes.
for a 2021 recap show. And we will talk about all of the things that happened in 2021, and maybe we do some of that dream board stuff and goal setting on Friday as well. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Who wants to see that?
We will see you on Friday. I do not know at what time at this moment, but we will post it.
Friday.
We will see you Friday and we will post it.
Yes.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great Monday. Have an awesome week.